the 49ers are a 10 to 12 win team this season if Purdy and CMC stay healthy. It's an unpopular opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if you think otherwise. A lot of people do. But when you do look at that roster and the upgrades they made this offseason, I'm happy with it, especially with the Purdy contract.
Yeah, I think, and like we've spoke on it before, but they were kind of in a situation where it's like, what else do you do? Like they almost kind of like had to pay him, and again, like he's done well in like the face of adversity, especially last year when it seemed like every skill player, every player that they relied on for those Super Bowl runs just went out or severely underperformed. And then now you're also bringing back Robert Saleh to go and man that defense. And like we know how good he is as a defensive coordinator. And then they also got that first round pick in Michael Williams, who joins Nick Bosa on the defensive line. So because the division is, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's far from being the most competitive. I see them splitting with the Cardinals, probably sweeping the Seahawks, and then I think they're going to get swept by the Rams. So looking at their schedule, I could see anywhere from 10 to 12 wins, but that's all going to be all contingent on their key players' health, because if CMC is in and out of the lineup, I'm not entirely sure what Brandon Ayuk is going to look like after his ACL. But if everyone's healthy, if everything's rolling, I don't see why they can't be competitive. I still think that they are a couple pieces away on the defensive side of the ball from making a Super Bowl run, but I definitely see them being more competitive this year than they were last.
Yeah, they have some questions, like you said. Offensive line needs to be addressed.
Yes.
They need another for sure lockdown corner. I don't know if they have that on the roster already. They'll develop it, but there are positions of need for a Super Bowl run. But I think when you look at the full picture, they have the flexibility with Purdy's contract to build around him. Philly did it with Jalen Hurts, so it shouldn't be a problem with the Niners. It just means they have to draft well, which they do, and they find gems in the later rounds of drafts. Defensively, like you said, they're getting a massive upgrade with Robert Saleh back in the organization. He will coach them up. He'll get them back in shape. The defensive line, they got two premier edge rushers and an interior defensive line that is focused on stopping the run, which is fantastic. And then offensively, I mean, I know they lost Debo. I know that Ayuk last year wasn't who the contract was supposed to represent, but Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings. If CMC is healthy, we can't underestimate
And George
how
Kittle.
good the offense can be. And George Kittle.
Yeah.
George Kittle, for me, best tight end in the league right now.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
better
you.
than Travis Kelce. I mean,
Absolutely.
I can't believe that's even.
I think
clear cut.
it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah.
And see, I don't even know if in 2025 you could say that you're losing Debo Samuel. Like I don't necessarily know if that's a loss anymore. Because like I think how I would look at it is now Ricky Pearsall is now getting valuable playing time that otherwise wouldn't have been there if Debo was still on the roster. So I think this is almost a blessing in disguise that he's over there in Washington now.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about Debo and Terry McLaurin as a duo. I don't know what your thoughts are. It really depends how Debo shapes out.
Like top, like 10, 12?
Yeah. But yeah, like I think my big thing, if CMC is healthy, we can't underestimate how much of a jump the offense can take. It's a Saquon Barkley jump. It's what we saw with Philly last year. They lost in the wild card, brought in a running back who just catapulted that offense into the Super Bowl.
Well, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. No. Like I do agree, but we're just losing. Like we're leaving out a lot of context because Niners defense is nowhere near the same as Philly's defense. Yeah. That Niners offensive line is nowhere near the same as Philly. But I can see like the similarities. I just think the number one thing, and this has kind of been a recurring theme when it comes to San Francisco, is that they need to get out of like their own way and just stay out of the a trainer's room and just be healthy,
Yeah.
because it seems every time there's a play to be made or a key moment, key players are always down.
Mhm.
So I think for them to go and reach what they want to reach this year in terms of making the playoffs, and even, hey, making some noise in the playoffs, they're just going to have to be healthy. Like, I think that's just like
Yeah.
the eventual bottom line.
Yeah, it's kind of out of their control what's held
Yeah.
them back, but I will say too, with everything in consideration, their schedule is a cakewalk. I mean, they have their last 6 games are all wins. They're all wins if everyone's healthy. So if they can get through their division, even just at a 3-3 in the division, I think I agreed with you, Deshaun. I said split with the Cardinals, sweep the Seahawks, and they'll probably get swept by the Rams. If not, they'll split it. But the Rams are really the big dog in the division. But after that, I don't think much of the Seahawks this year. I don't mind it, but I don't think much of it. And then the Cardinals, I think they had a good offseason, but there's this thing with NFL teams that you're either a Super Bowl contender or you're just like in the gray area. And I feel like the Cardinals are just like stuck in that
let's
gray area.
let's not even call it the gray area anymore. Let's call it the Steeler area. Like,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, that's just where you just like stay in a land of abyss, just doing
Yeah.
nothing, just doing the same thing.